Special characters include things like @symbols, hashtags, the percentage sign, or pretty much anything else that isn't a number or a letter. These can throw a wrench in your regex patterns and leave you banging your head against the wall wondering why you're not getting any matches. But fear not, wary tutorial hopper. I'm here to save you from any self-inflicted chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That's the disease that comes from repetitive head impacts. Unless you already have it, then you probably should see someone about that. I'm Victor, by the way, and I've been using regular expressions without any serious head injuries for a couple of years now, so I'd like to show you how to match or not match special characters, including the infamous email example. This video builds off of what we covered in the previous regex tutorial, so if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching that first. Before we get to any emails besides those Hillary Clinton already generously gave us, we'll need to understand how to match a specific set of characters. You can do so using what's known as character classes. Let's say you only wanted to match uppercase letters from A to Z in a piece of text. You'll type a pair of square brackets, add an uppercase A, a hyphen, and then an uppercase Z. This kind of looks like a range, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what it is. It means match any uppercase letters from A to Z. You can also do the same with lowercase letters, numbers, or even combine all three of them. What you put inside the square brackets doesn't always have to be a range of characters. You can manually include the specific letters or numbers you want to match. In doing so, you're saying, I want matches for only the characters in here. One important thing to remember is even though you can spell out a word you want to match inside the square brackets, only the individual characters will result in a match. So if you type dog in there, you'll get a match whenever the D, O, or G is used along with the entire word dog, since it contains all the letters as well. A good way to visualize all your regular expressions is by testing them on RegEx101.com. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's a very helpful site that highlights all the matches for you along with a short explanation of why the matches occurred. The site will prove to be more useful the more comfortable you get with regular expressions. Maybe you'll get even more comfortable than Monica when she decided to give Bill Clinton. If you want to match everything that isn't a set of specific characters, you can add a caret at the beginning of the square brackets. Not the vegetable, but the little upward facing arrow usually found on the key with the number 6 on it. Which brings us to the title of this video, Matching Special Characters. Now that you know how to match all uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and numbers in a piece of text, you can create a regular expression that matches anything that isn't one of these three things, which leaves us with, you guessed it, special characters. Just remember that the space between words, the white space, is also matched. So if you don't want to match that as well, you can add a space before the closing square bracket. There's one more thing you should know before we go through the email example. Certain characters have special meanings in regular expressions. The main one you need to know first is the backslash. Not to be confused with the forward slash, the backslash, when placed before certain letters or numbers, changes their meanings. If you create a regex string with just the backslash and the lowercase w, that's a type of character class that means match any letter, both uppercase and lowercase, any number, and an underscore, just like what we've covered previously. On the flip side, if you want to match anything that isn't a letter, number, or underscore, you can type a backslash followed by an uppercase W. I'll leave a link in the description below to a cheat sheet showing you all the letters you can place after a backslash and how they change the regular expression. I also plan on covering them in a separate video, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. That being said, let's hop over to Visual Studio and extract some emails. The first thing you'll need is a piece of text containing 1 or 2 emails to match. I'll go ahead and paste some text here to save time and store it in a string called message. Up next is the regex pattern. We'll look at 2 ways of achieving your goal. The first involves using the square brackets you just saw, and the second uses the backslash and letter method. Since we're working with C#, the pattern will be stored inside a string. The first part of the regex will match the user's name, which can either be in numbers or letters, so you'll need to account for both scenarios. The good news is you've already done this before, and that's using the square brackets and the ranges, so go ahead and add that in. Remember, this says I want to match any upper or lowercase letter or any number between 0 and 9. Next, you'll put a plus sign after the closing bracket. What does this mean? As you saw earlier, the square bracket character class only matches one character, but most emails are made up of several. The plus sign tells the regex engine to match many characters that fit what you specified inside the character class. This is called a quantifier. I haven't covered it yet, but I plan on doing so in upcoming videos, so just follow along with me for now. What you have now will match all the words in the text. Good start, but we're not quite there yet. The defining factor of every email is the @ sign, so you'll add that in the regex pattern. This is okay because the @ sign doesn't have a special meaning in regular expressions. As you can see, you're now only matching words and letters that are followed by an @ sign. Next, you'll match any upper or lowercase letters or numbers after the @ sign, so you'll just do the same thing you did earlier by copying and pasting the first portion, including the plus sign. Now comes the interesting bit. The period is also a special regex character that means match literally anything, whether that's a letter, number, parentheses, special character, white space, or what have you. But that's not what you want because all you need is a single period. To obtain this, you'll place the / before the period to say, I just want to match the period in English and not use its special regex function. Let's look at what you have so far. You're matching any upper or lowercase letter or number that's followed by an @ sign, and then any upper or lowercase letter or number after that that's followed by a period. What's left now is the part after the period. So to keep things simple, you can just type com for the last bit of the email pattern, since this is how most emails end. And there you have it, your very own regex pattern that matches emails. To see all your matches, you'll use the aptly named matches method. Loop through them and log their values to the console like so. You can accomplish the same thing using the / and letter method, which is not only shorter but easier to understand as well. Since the / followed by the lowercase w accomplishes the same thing as the square brackets character class, you can swap them. But speaking of swapping, if you don't like your current Visual Studio colors and fancy the one I'm using in this demo, you can find it over on patreon.com/height above sea level. It's a custom Sasuke theme made by yours truly that comes with a couple of other benefits, such as advanced C# lessons, tips and tricks and hidden features in Visual Studio to improve your productivity, and more. The colors are refreshing and do a much better job highlighting different parts of your code than the default Visual Studio theme, so if you're looking for an upgrade and better coding experience, you'll find it on patreon.com/height above sea level. And thank you so much to those of you who do become patrons. Back to regex. Go ahead and replace the square brackets character class with the / and lowercase w. Things are looking good already, but there's one more thing you can do to improve this regular expression. You're currently only matching emails that end with com. What about the other types like .org and .edu? Instead of hard coding com in your regex pattern and blocking out the rest, you can use the / and lowercase w after the period to match any uppercase or lowercase letters. Remember the plus at the end too. This now matches emails that end in other ways such as .edu or .gov. Take a look. Perfect. Maybe now you can create a bot that scrapes email addresses around the web and then spams them with emails telling them to subscribe to Height Above Sea Level. No, don't do that. That would be wrong. Here's a quick recap of everything before I let you go. Remember, a special character is any character that isn't a letter or number. You can match them using a square bracket character class with a caret at the beginning, followed by the ranges of letters and numbers. This means match anything that isn't a letter or number. Finally, you can leverage this character class to extract emails and even replace it with a / and letter method for code that's shorter and easier to read. That's a lot for you guys. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Again, you can get the custom Sasuke theme I'm using along with a couple of other goodies over on patreon.com/height above sea level. There's a Discord server if you prefer chatting over there, link in the description below, and I also have a Twitch channel if you like live interactive experiences more over on twitch.tv/avatarvic. The next video in this series will cover numbers and even show you how to extract phone numbers from a piece of text, so I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, from me to you, deuces.